Oh, schnizzap. What up? Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks, y'all, for joining me a little bit more immediate reaction time. And I just watched Orphan First Kill. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this movie. I went and saw Beast last night as well. And I'm working on some stuff for that too right now. But as of right now, I just wanted to talk about Orphan just because, let me get that camera a little bit better. There we go. Just want to talk about Orphan First Kill because, like I said, if some of this stuff's coming out on streaming and if I'm able to watch it at home streaming like I just did on Paramount Plus, I'm going to talk about this thing right away. So I first off have to say, I don't know if you guys are familiar or remember the original Orphan movie. It came out in 2009 and it had, not Bill Skarsgård, but Peter Skarsgård, of the Skarsgård family, because there's Stellan Skarsgård, which is the father. Then you have Peter. You also have Alexander Skarsgård. He was on True Blood, who's also in the new movie The Northman. And then you got William or Bill Skarsgård, who's Pennywise. It's also in that new movie Barbarian coming out, which looks really good. I got to see that. But this one had Peter Skarsgård, Vera Farmiga, and then the standout in this is what's her name? Isabel Furman. And that's the little girl. Now, the deal is she's actually 25 right now. So this girl right here is 25 years old. Obviously she was a lot younger when she played in the original movie, The Orphan. But it still worked in this movie. And one of the things I really liked, excuse me, about this movie, and it wasn't like a AAA, like blow me out of the water, but it did take me for a ride, and I did change my mind about this movie a few times through. So the first one, again, this girl was older. She was a teenager, but she wasn't, maybe not a teenager. Maybe she was, I think she was a teenager, but just a teenager, but she still looked like a really young girl. And the fact that they used this girl that's 25 now and still made her look this young in the movie was really impressive. And I'm glad that they didn't use any CG. Because it was in 2009, and then this is her now at 25. Now, obviously, that picture looks a little different because it's doctored for the cover of the movie, but she really looks like that in the movie and in First Kill. And basically, if you guys hadn't seen Orphan, it is a phenomenal movie. I think it's one of the most underrated. There we go. That's a better little shot of it right there. I think it's one of the most underrated horror films from that time. And the 2000s have their good horror films, but they're kind of known a lot for some bad horror films. And Orphan is one of those ones that I loved. And the main reason that we love that movie Orphan is because it pulled an M. Night on us. M. Night is hands down one of the best at, when he does it right. Now, don't get me wrong, he does it wrong sometimes. He does it really bad sometimes, but when he gets it right, he's the best at reeling you into this film and all of a sudden showing you something in the end that has this twist that you just, not only did you not see it coming, but it was just such a from a different planet of a twist just breaching its way over into this film, but it fits so perfectly in. And in Orphan, you find out at the very end of the movie, pretty much, and before it all really goes down, that this little kid is actually, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Orphan Kills or Orphan First Kill, then you might not want to watch this. But I'm talking about this movie because you know who Esther, this girl, is in this second movie. But in the first one, the whole big twist is that she was a 30-year-old woman, like 31 or 32 or 34 or something like that in the original Orphan. So when I saw that, finally, I was like, wait a minute, she's not a little girl. She's got, and the way they explain it, she's got this strange, like, weird deficiency, this weird genetic deficiency to where she just doesn't age past a certain age, physically. Mentally, she still develops and everything. And so she utilizes that to her advantage and becomes this creepy little bitch. And she just kills and she's evil and all these things. Well, when you're watching the original movie Orphan, you're thinking, okay, this is the first time that's happened. Well, then they decided to make Orphan Kills. So look, I loved Orphan. I love it. It's an A+ for me. It's up there in the horror films. This one was along the lines of Don't Breathe 2, in a sense that it was fun, but you're sort of waiting for what, all right, what's this going to be about? What's it going to be a twist? It can't just be us seeing the first time Esther kills someone before she got into this other family. And they do that. They give you a little twist. So first off, I see it and I'm really enjoying how it goes. And then I start to kind of feel like, all right, you guys are having the sequel problem right now. It's like Don't Breathe 2. We already were so surprised by the ending of Orphan that by the time it gets to this one, we're starting off this movie being like, all right, well, you better do as good as part one and let's see how this turns. You're already kind of being judgmental on the film initially. But so they got you reeled in with her being the adult in the beginning of this movie. They're in the facility and she's in this like insane asylum in Estonia. And they're talking about how her name is Lena and she looks like a child, but she's not. She's a 30-something-year-old woman and she's done really bad things. And the fact that they start off with that made me start to like it. And then they show this whole thing about how she gets into the space of being adopted in the original Orphan movie. So this whole movie is about how she gets to that adoption point, but she goes through a whole family. And so I'm not going to get into spoilers about that or anything, but really it was making me feel like, all right, this is a little on the nose. Again, you're just waiting for, she's an adult. She's 33. You're just waiting to see, okay, how's she going to really kill these people? And then as I'm starting to get slightly kind of like, all right, this is just suffering from that sequelitis, something happens in the movie to where it piques my interest again. And this is the twist. And I'm not going to tell you what the twist is, but they put a twist in midway through the movie that literally it's almost like the director knew, okay, we want these guys to almost start to feel like this is just another rehash of the first film, just showing you our first kill. But then let's throw a ninja star at them right now and let's change their minds and let's make them realize, oh, but this is actually ultimately going to be about something else. Even while it is leading up to her and getting to the adoption point where she is at the beginning of Orphan, this one, the twist actually made the movie better for me. And I actually liked it a little bit more. It's starring Julia Stiles this time around, and her and Isabella Fuhrman are the only two people that are really recognizable, in my opinion. Most of the other people in the movie I've never seen before. But basically, it's about her getting into this family. And I think you see this in the trailer. But the whole idea is that she takes the identity of a child that had been missing a long time ago, and this family gets their child back. And so she really does her work trying to find a child that's missing that looks like herself. I'm talking about little Esther, or Lena is actually her name, but she finds a missing child that's named Esther, and they show that's how she gets her name and all that. None of this is spoiling anything for you because this movie is called First Kill. You're starting off this movie, if you're watching it, you've probably seen Orphan, and you know that she's a 33-year-old woman. So initially when I'm watching this movie, that was kind of a little bit of a bummer for me because I'm like, well, what's the surprise going to be? Once they introduced the twist and the surprise, I have to say it reeled me back in a little bit. I still can't decide if I really like the twist or if it's a little too weird. So I don't want to say too much about it because this is just a first immediate reaction. I might do a spoiler talk with it afterwards in case Andrew watches it. In fact, I think he probably will watch this and we'll probably do a spoiler discussion. It's just my immediate initial reaction right after watching the film. But I really, the twist was entertaining for sure. And it definitely was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. But it wasn't, you're still waiting for a twist. You know, what I loved about that first one is that you're just sort of thinking, watching this whole movie, even almost up until sort of the ending, the middle of the third act, you're thinking it's just this evil little bitch of a girl. Not till towards the end do you find out, oh my God, she's a 33 or 35, 36-year-old woman, whatever. Holy shit. So this one, like Don't Breathe 2, I'm waiting for the twist. Remember at the end of Don't Breathe, you find out that this blind man is actually harboring this girl down there and trying to impregnate her with his semen. It was nuts of a twist that I did not see from miles away. Same thing with the original Orphan. This one, you're waiting for a twist. But the twist was, again, it's hard for me to decide right now if I really liked it or not. I have to, when we do our spoiler discussion, I think I'll have a better grip on it. But I mean, Julia Stiles is great in it. There becomes this sort of a cat and mouse game going on in the movie at one point. So it's not full of kills. It's definitely more of a suspense horror rather than like a slasher horror or supernatural horror or anything like that. It's really got the vibe of you waiting to see what's going to happen next. When is the pin actually going to drop? When's the bomb going to go off? And then once it goes off, then it's like a little bit of a battlefield and a war has been started. And then you get the rest of the film that's sort of in that tone. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it was perfect for an at-home release. I'm not sure that going to the theater, I would have been like, oh my God, this is a great theater movie. But I mean, I think also there's something to be said with us just being kind of spoiled at watching stuff at home now. So, hey, that was just my little quick initial reactions about Orphan First Kill. It is a fun horror movie, and horror movies are my favorite genre for the most part. So if you're looking for a new good watch and you like the original Orphan, it's really good. It's fun. It's not as good as the first one, but you're going to have a good time with this. And I'm curious to see what people's thoughts are about the twist. So anyways, hang on. What do we got here right here? I got somebody talking. Oh, he said sequelitis is that when if catch an STD after knobbing the chick for a second time, knowing damn well the first time was a big mistake. Yeah, definitely similar. That's funny. I couldn't read what that said at first, but it's funny is right away before I saw who was rich and famous, I thought it was somebody else trying to say something that I didn't. Anyways, that's a whole other story. But hey, thanks for tuning in for a second, man. Normally these little quick reaction videos aren't anything special. I just wanted to do this real fast, but I'm gonna get to work on some of this other stuff. My Beast video, and like I said, Andrew and I will probably do a spoiler talk on this one right here. So, hey guys, till meantime, be on the lookout for Lake Court. That's something that I'm really excited about. We finished it. We are submitting it to festivals. I've already submitted it to 2, but we're definitely going to start submitting it to a lot more here coming up. Just those were 2 that was the deadline was just like the other day. So it's really exciting to have finished that, and be on the look at it because we're going to be showing it some point, whether it be on this channel or just submitting it some other point. But right now we just can't be putting it a ton out there because festivals won't take a short film that's publicly, openly out there for everyone to see because they want stuff that's still sort of like not been seen by everybody. So once it's gone through its festival deal and everything, we're really going to put it out there. But anyways, guys, look, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, and life gives you lemons. Make some hot, fresh popcorns.